Hi everybody, Jamie Sierra with MissionFulfillment.com. Today I wanted to continue our conversation about emotions. As I mentioned yesterday, emotions pretty much equal life. The quality of our lives, the quality of what we're feeling and what we're doing, and the level of happiness and the joy that we experience is based on our emotions. And basically, if we can master our emotions, we can definitely master our lives, and we can accomplish anything that we want to and live the life of our dreams. If we can master this skill, this one skill called emotions. And basically, and the greatest thing about it is that on a conscious level, we actually go to emotions. Emotions don't come to us, and that's the great thing about it, is that we actually have control of our lives, control of our destinies, as long as we can be able to identify the emotions that we're feeling and can master these emotions and make sure we can focus on feeling the love and the warmth, the sense of gratitude, being able to be flexible in our lives and having the energy and the vitality. But today, what I wanted to talk to you about is the 10 negative emotions that we feel, and that obviously it's always inevitable to feel these emotions, but it's also a gift too, because basically these create what we're going to talk about is action signals that obviously get us to the next level in our lives. These action signals are gifts. If you think about it, our greatest pains, our greatest problems are our greatest gifts, because they make us grow. They make us get our lives to the next level. If we didn't have these problems, we wouldn't have, we wouldn't be able to grow. We wouldn't be able to get to the next level of our lives, and we'll continue to be stagnant here. I apologize for the background here. I'm obviously shooting this right in the middle of Boston. So if we continue to hear loud sirens or anything, I'll make sure I turn off the video and restart again. But anyways, I just wanted to kind of dive into this basically. And like I said, the action signal here is the message that a particular emotions means. So basically what you're doing is you're understanding, you want to identify that you are feeling this particular emotion, and understanding that it's an action signal to obviously create the meaning of this emotion, or change the meaning that you have of this particular emotion that you're feeling right now, and then change your focus and obviously take action to the emotion. So I'm going to go through the 10 types of emotions that we need to create action signal for. I'll list them and I'll cover each one individually quickly for you. Number one, obviously being uncomfortable. That's obviously a negative emotion to feel sometimes, obviously, and I'll get into that. Number 2 is fear. Number 3 is hurt. Number 4 is anger. And number 5 is frustration. 6 is disappointment. 7 is guilt. 8 is inadequacy. 9 is feeling overloaded, overwhelmed. And then 10 is a little bit different, but it's obviously emotion that we do feel, is loneliness. No matter what our situation, what our state is in our life, some people have so many people around them, outgoing people that you have, and yet they still have emotions. They still have states where they do feel lonely at times. But anyways, if you feel uncomfortable, it's a signal that you actually need to change your state, need to change, with the way you move, or maybe you need to ask a better question on this sense of uncomfortable. Like, what is this doing for me? How is this going to take me to the next level of my life? So definitely a sense of uncomfortableness is obviously a good gift to have, because obviously if we don't want to live our lives being too comfortable naturally. Second is fear. We always are going to experience having fear in our lives, and the biggest thing to do is to identify that you're feeling fearful right at the moment, and obviously get prepared for it, and get to that you're going to have something to deal with that's about to come. So what you need to do is just change your focus on this fear and define the meaning right away from it. Because we're always going to have fear in our lives. The best thing to do is identify it, get conscious about it, because fear can creep up on us unconsciously. Number 3 is hurt. I mean, this is something we're always going to feel, and it's a signal that that you have a sense of loss, or you have something that's not meeting your expectations or meeting your blueprint. So what you need to do is change the way you're communicating, change the way you're behaving at the moment. Very big one to hear. 3 is anger. This is basically a rule violation. Maybe something or an event has occurred that's not meeting your blueprint, that's not meeting your rules, or somebody is doing something that is violating the rules. And I'm going to get into, I know we spoke to rules extensively when we did our values, moving towards and moving away values, but I think I'm going to do a separate video as far as rules are concerned and identify these certain rules that we do have in our lives. It'll obviously improve the communication we have ourselves, and improve the communication we have with others, but also it'll define why we're not happy in our lives as well. So anger is an emotion that we feel, and we need to identify, what is this anger doing to us? Why are we getting so upset on a situation, or why is this making us so angry? Very important, because anger is just a natural emotion to feel. We all get angry. If you hear somebody who says, I'm not an angry person and never get angry, it's not the truth. We all do. It's a natural feeling to have, to be angry. It's nothing more than just an emotion. Frustration. Just thinking, frustration is another word for insanity, just expecting a different results, and you need to change your approach as far as achieving your goal. Just like the ultimate success formula, find an outcome, take action towards it. If you don't mean it, change your approach, do it again, keep doing it until you get the result that you desire. Frustration is definitely a state that we want to make sure that we identify that we're in, because it is easily to get frustrated on an everyday, when you're at work or when you're trying to deal with something in your relationships. Disappointment, it's a signal that you realize that an expectation or an outcome won't happen, and all you need to do is change your expectation. For example, maybe your time frame is too short, but understand that basically your expectations weren't met through disappointment. And sometimes identify this disappointment. Maybe this is a good thing. Maybe it's a gift that, we feel this sense of disappointment. We sense that we didn't achieve the outcome that we wanted or desired at the moment. God's delays are not God's denials. And maybe this is maybe something better is coming along. Usually, and it's never worse. And I'm telling you that right now. Understand that disappointment is always a gift to have. Getting things that you don't want sometimes is the best thing for you. Understand that, because if we got everything we want, we would never, ever, ever become fulfilled. And obviously, I wouldn't be making these videos, because there would be no mission towards fulfillment if we always got what we want. Not getting what we want is a gift in itself, because it'll identify us to understand what we need to do in order to get to the next level. Life is always a process. Guilt is another feeling or emotion, and this is a tough one for me. Because I tend to always feel guilty about certain things and certain aspects in life, and maybe somebody else is suffering, and I'll have a sense of guilt that I'm not going through this process that somebody else is going through. And I think we always have that sense of guilt, and people in my lives definitely always have a guilt, but it's basically maybe it's a violation of standards, and the part of guilt is we can't deny it, and we cannot stay into it. If you mess up, just obviously make things right. Understand, if it's guilt about the past, that we can't change the past. The best way we can deal with the guilt of the past is to live fully at the present moment. Recognize that we have that guilt and let it go. I mean, because that's the thing we always have a tend to do on a subconscious level, is we feel guilty about actions that we take in the past. Obviously, we're gonna make our mistakes. We learn from our mistakes, we grow from our mistakes, and we can't hang on to it, and we cannot feel bad about it. The only way we can forgive, the only way we can be forgiven or to forgive is to live fully in the present moment. Overloaded. Actually, excuse me, I missed inadequacy. This is a signal that you need to do something to get better. Get up and do something, or change your criteria. Maybe your rules are too harsh or don't have to be perfect. You simply need to start taking action, such as go practice to improve whatever it is. Overloaded. Sort of like frustration and overloaded are kind of two married emotions. Make sure, number one, the signal is to identify that you're reloaded. Reevaluate what is really most important and what your true outcome is if you feel overloaded. Prioritize. Take the first one on your list and do something about it. Make sure you're taking care of what's most important to you, and do something to take control of the events, and instead of letting the events control you. And it's simply just chunk it down. If you feel overloaded, prioritize. Chunk it down. Identify that you're feeling this sense of overloaded, and get organized. Create something. Create a little planning for yourself, and maybe I'll come up with a planning video as too, to kind of specifically how to avoid overloaded. But in the meantime, just definitely find a little plan for yourself. Identify and understand that you're overloaded in a particular situation, and obviously prioritize. And the first thing, if it's a career situation and it's a work task, obviously address it with your boss. Address what you need to focus on first, and make sure understand what's most important to you. And loneliness. This is pretty much means that we need to be able to connect with others. Maybe make a phone call, somebody, listen to somebody, and then change your perception about that, because loneliness always comes up, and there's so many people around us. There's our greatest gift that we have is to each other, is that we have each other, that we have people around us all the time. Even with strangers, we are all connected as one. So this is what I so basically, I like to simply put that that we don't dismiss our negative emotions, and we don't suppress them, and we embrace them, and it inspires us to take action. And it's a way ourselves to make meaningful changes in our lives and get to the next level. And make sure make sure these negative emotions don't grab control of us and take and let us spiral. And most important, learn to let go, and learn to understand that these emotions are gifts. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you want more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Then once again, thank you again, and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.